Hello everyone and welcome back to our Getting Started video series here. This is step 3 of our Getting Started videos, so hopefully you've already watched the intro, step 1 and step 2. This video deals with how to add categories and products to your website. Okay, so hopefully if you've watched those previous videos and follows the instructions, your website should be designed, you should have content added, and pretty much all your settings should be configured. And so the next and kind of final thing to do is to add products to your site so that customers can browse and hopefully buy them, right? So before we get started and walk through how to add products to your website, you'll want to take a minute and decide how to best organize the products on your site that you plan to sell. So the different ways you can do it include basically having some top level or parent categories with then some following subcategories underneath those, or just sticking with a top level parent or a top level category. Now to give you an example of what I mean by this, let's say you go to oldnavy.com and you look at the way they've broken down their products. You'll notice that they have some top level or parent categories such as men's, women's, kids, and so on. And then underneath those you'll see subcategories. Say for women's, you'll see sweaters, pants, shirts, skirts, maybe things like that. And so those are subcategories underneath the top level or parent level category. And now other sites, say you're going to be selling, who knows, lawnmowers on your website. Maybe you don't need to have 2 or 3 levels of categories. You could just have a top level category that's basically the brands of the lawnmowers, maybe Honda and whatever else there is, and then when someone clicks on that brand, it just starts to show all the different lawnmowers that you have available to sell. And so those are ways that you can break down how you organize your products on your site, but ultimately how you choose to do it is going to be up to you. But I just suggest spending a few minutes to decide on how you want to do this and how you can best accomplish it so that the shopping experience is more user friendly for your customers, and that can really help improve sales on your site. So think about how you prefer to see your products organized if you were the shopper when you come to your site, and then be sure to add categories to your website accordingly so that you can organize your products into those categories as we set them up. Okay. So once you've decided on that, you can really start adding products. But let's start going over the steps now that we've kind of covered some preliminary information there. So to add products to your site, you're just going to want to click on the My Products button right here on the dashboard. You can also get there by clicking on the Store tab, okay? So either way is fine. Both of them are going to bring you to this page where it lists your products, okay? Now, right here, you see the list of products, and we've just got one test product in here. And then on the side, you have another group of options. And we're just going to briefly go over how to add a product today and how to add categories. And then if you need more assistance, there's always more videos about adding products under your support tab over there, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do, like I mentioned, is add categories. So you can do that by clicking on My Categories here. And then from here, you can click Add Category. Okay. Now when you click Add Category, it's just going to ask you to give it a name. So we're going to call it Men's. And we're going to follow the example of the one we used with Old Navy. Okay, so we're going to say there's no parent category above this, which means this is the top level category. And then we can come up with a description for the category that will be displayed at the top of this category page, and you can come up with another one that will be displayed at the bottom of the category page if you wanted to. You don't have to, but sometimes you can if you want. These are WYSIWYG editors, so you can get really fancy with images and text and all sorts of stuff, videos and all, several things if you want to. You can also add metadata for your category, main category pages, or subcategory for that matter. And if you do that, you'd put it in here. Now we're going to automatically fill in this information for you based on what we find in your content of your site. So unless you have something better to put in here, you can just leave that blank, okay? So we're going to click Save, and that's going to put us in a category here called Men's. Now let's say we want to add another category, and we're going to call this category pants. Okay, and we want that to be a subcategory underneath pants. In fact, to make it more clear, we're going to call it men's pants. And I know those have apostrophes in them, but I'm just doing this quick here as a test. Okay, so we'll put a header on this one, but not a footer. Forget the metadata. Okay, now underneath men's, you'll have a subcategory called men's pants. Okay, now you can't see it here because this just lists the top level categories, but you can view what's in these categories if you want to. Okay, and then you'll see the subcategory we have there. Okay, you can delete the categories, you can sort them using these arrows up and down, you can modify them if for some reason what you put in there you want to change the name or the header and footer, you can do that. Okay, you can upload an image for this category, which I would recommend you do, and you can view the image that's there now. But what we're going to do is we're going to go briefly over how to add a product. Okay, so you can click Add Product here, which will automatically add it to this category. Or you can go back to My Products, and you can click Add Product here, which won't necessarily automatically add it to a product. You can just select which product you wanted it. Now we're going to put this into men's pants, this particular product. Okay, then let's go up here and give it a name. So let's just call this like straight leg basic jean. I don't know. Okay, and then you might have a SKU number, and the price on these is going to be $49. Okay, and you can decide whether you want to hide this product or make it visible on your site. Usually it's visible. You can come in here and make a description about your your product. This product is the best ever. Whatever else you want to put in there. Of course, this is a WYSIWYG editor, which stands for what you see is what you get. And you can come in here and highlight things, add different colors, images, text, links, you name it. Okay. And then down here, you select the category. Here's where you can upload an image for your pants, and you can add additional images. Okay, so you can scroll through. Your users can scroll through several different images on your site, or if you don't have the image, you can specify a URL where that image is. Now if you want to add more, you just keep clicking here and add as many images for your site as you want. Okay, and again, I'm just going through this briefly. In our videos under support tab, you can follow along on some of these steps more in depth. Okay, product notes. This would be in addition to the description. Maybe you have other notes like sizes available, and maybe you'd put that here, small, medium, large, extra large, or you'd put them in inches instead, whatever the case may be. Okay, you can save and continue to edit this product. You can save and return to your product list, or you can save and add a new product. Now, there's some other options down here dealing with delivery and tax. Is the product taxable? For shipping, there's some shipping options here that deal with how many days the product ships in. Maybe it's 5 days, and these weigh, 35 ounces. Remember, these are in ounces. This is going to help your shipping to get calculated in the checkout, and if you're using tax, you want to make sure that you select this button or it won't calculate tax. For digital delivery products, you can put those here. I should say delivered products. Upload your file, that'll automatically attach it to the order confirmation when it goes out. And then down here you have some other supplier info. If you want for your own information, specify who the supplier is for this particular product. The users won't see that on the checkout or your website, just you will. Okay, so we're going to say save and return to list, and now we've got the straight leg basic jean, and in fact it is in this category. We didn't upload an image, but we could do so if we wanted to here. And we can modify a bunch of other things. Now, once we come to this page, you're going to see more options than you saw on the Add Product page, like advanced pricing options and other products options, metadata, custom product fields, and logo images. Now, several of these things you may or may not need, and we'll go over them quickly. Okay, we've already covered this, which is the taxable and the shipping things. Advanced product options or pricing options allows you to specify different prices for different sizes or color combinations. We call those attributes. Now we go over this more in depth in the other section, and so I'm going to leave that explanation for this at that for now. But just know that if you have a very complex product that comes in multiple sizes, colors, fabrics, weights, you name it, our system can handle setting up a different price for each attribute combination. So size, color, weight combination, I mean, you name it. Any way you can slice it, we can set it up in this system, okay? For the most part, you're not going to need that. It's going to be simple. Your product costs X, and that's it. But if you get a more complex product offering on your site, you can use these advanced pricing options to make sure that you're selling your products for the prices that are applicable for each particular combination of attributes for that product, okay? We talked about supplier info already. Other product options is where you can set up terms. Say that you want them to check a box when they check out, and so you can give terms here and then require a checkbox. You can have some personalization options if people want to customize, say, a shirt that they're buying with their name embroidered on it or something, then you can offer options that way. You can also use third-party shopping carts with any given product. So let's say you're selling products on Amazon and you want to list those products on your site, but then when somebody clicks to buy it, it redirects them to Amazon to check out. And you can, if you say use a third-party checkout, then you can put in the URL for that shopping cart on Amazon right here. And so it makes it easy for you as a website owner to consolidate all the products you offer into one site, and then whether they use the built-in shopping cart within this website system or they link to an outside one based on the arrangements you have with the products you're selling, you can kind of use some of these settings to customize how those products can be purchased and make it easy for you and your customers to know that, hey, there's one site to come to browse, and then potentially I might get redirected elsewhere to purchase, but at least everything's in one place for me to search. And that helps with your own business and your brand, and so that's one of the reasons why we added that feature. Require purchase approval. Again, not likely you'll use that, but it's there, and that ties in with some of the store options settings we went over in the Getting Started 2 video. Show add to cart button, show view details button, and these are just some display things you can customize on your product pages. Okay, metadata, same thing. You can put in, this is for search engine optimization, you can put in a title, a description, a keyword. Again, we're going to take the information that you provide by default and use that in your metadata, but if you want to customize it or override what we come up with, then you can fill that information in there. Just make sure to do your research so you put things in there that are better than the default stuff we would do for you. Custom product fields. You can come up with some custom input fields where you ask them questions. You know, when they buy this product, you can ask them certain questions, whatever those may be. You can also make it use this setting so that they don't see that question unless they order a minimum of a certain amount of a product. Okay. Logo images. This is where you can upload logos where they could potentially select from one, and again, not usually something that you'll use, but it is available if you need it. Okay, so that pretty well covers how to add a product, covers how to add a category, and once you've got these added and selected into a category, and assuming your categories are enabled right here, okay, and your products are enabled, then they'll automatically start to show up on your site for your customers to browse through and purchase. Okay, so really that should pretty much finish the initial steps to get you all set up and ready to go. So I want to congratulate you on getting through those. That's pretty much it. We've finished reviewing these 3 steps for setting up your website, and so now you really should be armed with all the knowledge you need to get your website set up and ready for business. But if you come across any situations where we didn't cover questions or other things you have in these videos, just be sure to check our support tab up over here. for more in-depth videos. These are the ones we just finished, but we have more in-depth videos here under video tutorials, where you can go through section by section and watch more in-depth videos on several of these topics we covered. And you can also always come to the Ask a Question page and fill out this information to ask a question about any other things you might have some questions about. So thanks again for choosing us as your website solution. We're confident our system will provide you with all the resources and features you need to be successful. And we look forward to hearing about your success and seeing your exciting new website. Thanks for joining. We'll talk to you later.